There's something I really don't talk about a lot. I talk about growth. I talk about brotherhood. I talk about men's issues, how we can be there for ourselves, how we can be there for each other. But I really never speak about what really lies underneath all of that. And today I want to talk about that. I want to talk about why I advocate so much for Majid, why I stand so much for us Jains. So I think it's time. Let's talk about that. Hey yo everyone, igama ngumilani nande wakwaSicago and I am back with another one. So guys, May, as we all know, is Mental Health Month, and I couldn't let this month actually go past without actually tackling this. I had episodes been scheduled for for the podcast, but because I took note of the fact that May is Mental Health Month, and I was like, you know what? Let me do this before I head over to the other stuff that I have planned for the podcast. So I have to make this first disclaimer. This is not going to be a lecture. It's not going to be a teachable moment. I'm not a therapist, guys. I'm not a psychologist or anything. But today's episode, honestly, is about a guy that is, I feel he's finally starting to connect the dots of who he is. Yeah. So, disclaimer once more, but this is very personal. It's gonna get a bit emotional for me. Probably the shoot episode because I've been trying to start over and repeat. Yeah, but so hopefully this time I'll get it. Because I'm going to talk about men's mental health, and it's a very touchy subject. So I have my notes here with me, so you guys will bear with me. I'm not in their stack. So yeah, as I was preparing for this episode, I could feel it, but it's on scene, Ali. But I feel like I have a responsibility to talk about it or to tackle it, especially Glenyanga. Hopefully it's going to get the coverage and the travel it needs if I deliver it kahle and not unravel. Yeah, well, because guys. So, yeah, man, we can't talk about men's mental health without speaking about Isugapi, where it all comes from. And for me, the basis of it all, I have to say, is the father wound. Not having a present dad. And the first and foremost thing when I was shooting this episode is constantly saying, okay, it's not a unique story. I'm not the first one. And that's the first mistake we always make, is by making our stories common just so that we can minimize them, minimizing the impact that they've had on us. We all have unique stories, yes. Songe. No one has we all have similar, that's what I'm trying to say. We all have similar stories, but they're all unique in one way or another because they are unique to us. So yes, now maybe your dad left, but that does not mean just because both our dads left, we should be okay with that. Yeah, well, so that's the first thing I want to tackle with. Because I'm always apologetic of the fact that man, it's nothing unique, it's nothing special. So probably, let me not even talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it. Deal with it. Because so man, I have to start there because my dad left when I was 8, and I'm hesitant to say this because the craziest thing is when I was doing my research, I came across something, Etiba. A child, you can have fully developed or recall your memories from probably the age of like 5. But I struggled the hell out of my life to recall what was going on in my life in my childhood. And any hope in my old age that, yeah man, I honestly don't have, like, I would look at pictures in the house, I would see them, but my physical body has no memory of being there. Yeah, I see myself and I recognize that, okay, that's me, I know. But like in your old age, like right now, if you see a picture on your phone, you immediately travel to that place. But we were at the club, we were doing this, yeah, the feeling was like this, the vibe was like this. Yeah, but for me, from the ages of probably like the 8-ish, the 10-ish ages, yeah, that's when I'm starting to have glimpse of memories. But anything underneath that, yeah, go blank. And I really think that's where a lot of it stems from. Because for me personally, it was abandonment after he left. And I feel that triggered a lot of stuff in my life. It was like a snowball effect of every single other sickness that I will deal with as I am going through it, So yeah, man, when he left, and I can't even say to you this is how I felt, because I have zero recollection of it all. Yeah, so that happened, and in fact, the only way as I was writing it, the only way I could say it really hit home that I have an abandonment wound was when I would see other kids with their dads, and I'll be like, oh, so that's what's missing. Yeah, and this is also another one because, as you know, I come from a very strong friendship circle, and all my friends, fortunately, their dads were there. Yeah, so growing up around that and being the only one out of all of them that was like, that only had a single mom, that also had some pings to it. I won't honestly lie. Not that they were doing, let me clear that out. Not that they were intentionally doing stuff, or we were all kids, yeah, but I think as a kid that had to grow up really fast, because we cannot run away from the fact that the moment that your dad leaves, or the moment that the father is not there, roles shift and lean. Like, hey, if you are just a kid, you are no longer just a kid anymore. As much as my mom, like, she's a hero. Like, my mom's the best. If you know me, you know me and my mom, best friends. Yeah, she did all she could with my grandma. Speaks, yeah, with my grandma, they did all they could to ensure that their children or their offspring never felt land or okay, there's no strong father figure in the house. But gents, we all know, especially after you step outside of the house, because they can teach you, they can, because I truly feel they raised a gentleman. I truly feel they raised who's even confident enough to come and do this, yeah, but that did not it did not absorb all the other effects that I saw the moment I stepped outside of the house, and all the other experiences and everything and all the other realities that were outside of my own. Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, so yeah, guys. So me and my friend, I would see these great relationships. Yeah, some funny that's one of my favorites. Yeah, Luano and his dad, the music, like the musicality with Pew and his dad and all. Yeah, so you grow up around all of this, and you're like, damn. So this is what it looks like. And now then, Gimta, like, trust me, I understand, Majida. Nani, you had your own difficulties and your own dynamics with your own parents, but say if you're watching, but I know he's a good thing. Yeah, I'm just saying, but it played a huge role. played a very, very huge role. My favorite. Yeah. So yeah. Man. So yeah, there were times where you'd smile and yeah, well, guys, it was not all doom and gloom. It was not. Let me not be all good about it. Yeah, but it was not all doom and gloom. So male friendships, man. And one of the craziest things, Gengogo, is that substituted some of the male energy in your life. It's all about Amajita. Yeah, and we were very tight, Amajita. We did everything together. Like literally everything together. Okay, let me tell a story about like literally everything together. High school, just like grades and all. Yeah, of course we'd vary with one grade or the other, but every single thing. Even for umgidi kafika na for umgidi kafika soluke kuye sigere sonke kuye nabashita mna noLwando noLihle. And I still remember for umphumo kaphiwo saya singamakrwala eKapa because uphiwo wangenela eKapa. Uphiwo wangenela eKapa yena safika phasiqokutheke yasaziwa apha lento sathi gqiba sicela saba amakrwala amadala kaJune kodwa siphuma ngoku lo December uphiwo naye aphuma ngaye. So everything we did together, Namajita, from Pangela Gunye, traveling the world songi. Yeah, well. And then now I think another thing that really triggered that father wound again was one thing Lihle's uncle said to us, Sikula ba. Except gents, as much as Nikula Nonge, there will come a time when things are gonna differ. Abanye abantu bazaya le, abanye baye le, abanye bazaba zezi zinto, abanye baba zezi zinto. And yeah, that thing hit home. Like it hit home. The past couple of years, I would say, as much as we've been gaining success, Namajita, but with success comes a lot more other responsibilities. You get family responsibilities, you get all these other things. So now you move even from the space of friendship, and then now you're just colleagues at one point. Hey, namanje ngathi sesisebenza ngokwaphela nalando yobaka yobanjwa isibindi neno. Yabo. So yeah, man, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of stuff as basikula. You diversify and you go through your own things. But yeah, I think also Nalando, having a strong base and having strong friendships also, yeah, ikwazi eliminate Alando. But the minute Nikula, you separate and you do your own things, and then those abandonment issues start creeping up again. Yeah, but okay, because eventually this thing happens in your life because people eventually leave. That's one of the most painful or hurtful things about having an abandonment is that you always punch first before you're punched. And coming to my next point was relationships, because we have to talk about it. We have to talk about how us not dealing with our wounds affects the people that we come across, Majid. Yeah, well, so now you can imagine this guy is suffering from this wound. You have zero clue on what it actually takes. You've never been coached on how to pick a partner, what is courting, dating, relations, and all of that. Yonke le nto uyazifundela nje apha estrateni. Umandi sizi-vibes ngamaTaliyane namajita bayakhala abantwana ye nento. Yeah, so it really impacted my interactions with the opposite sex. I have to say that, because I went through phases and I was counting them as bad the Sia Apa of, because I really feel I've always been a woke, for lack of a better word, even though ubu half sometimes, but just because you believe you're acting ngobulungisa as a Christian kid, yeah, so you go through your thoughts sometimes about when you're doing something, at least yeah, but you're thinking it through, even though sometimes you're impulsive in your actions. So I feel like I've always, even before that, let me put it this way. At first, it's that whole thing of you're weak if you only have one girl, and you should have multiple girls. If you only have one girl, then now you're out. Yeah, those things impacted me a bit, but I think from now, hey, with the abandonment issue, I've always looked for something I never had. It was never a thing of I'm going with the flow, like yeah. Because I truly feel that my mom and my grandma, as I said, raised someone who was gentle and soft and all of that. So it was always that. But honestly speaking, it's all about finding that excitement. And there are three types of girls I think we always run into, Tina as a Majita. It's always that Basha type of girl where you know that you don't have to invest in anything because she won't have to leave you, Basha. She was never yours. Yeah, but sorry to use the term. But and then the second one after that, for me personally, because I went through that phase, I was like, man, I'm just playing around. I'm finding business because I was on Shiafon because it was never about that anyway. And then I got tired of that. And then the second one, craziest of all, was feeling yoba, I need to be what I never had. To be the male figure, to be the protector, to be the provider. So I get that phase of looking for vulnerable people to take care of. My goodness. Yay! Then there's on. And I had to forgive myself for that as well. Okay, I'm taking you to trips, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. Until you get to a point whereby you're exhausted by that, because not only does it deplete you financially, it depletes you emotionally, physically, and every other aspect of yourself, because you're as neglected at that point. You're not focusing on yourself. Went through that. After that I was like, no man, I need someone who's gonna pour into me now. Yeah, sorry for laughing, kids. Hey, I need someone who's gonna pour into me now. I need someone who's gonna choose me. I've been choosing people all the time. And then you find that person, and and you find the most beautiful people in the world. They choose you, and they choose no one else. And then you wonder, why are you choosing me? Because you're not used to it. You're used to being abandoned all the time. You're like, hey, and you go through all of that. And it's chaos. Now imagine for everyone that you are involving in that chaos. Imagine everyone you're bringing into that space. Nah, chance. I know we don't know better, but hey, we do put each other through a lot. And I really feel like I need blaming that year's gender wars and everything, and women hating us and all of that, because I really feel they don't understand what we go through. And I understand that, because Nati ourselves, we did not understand. As much as Nabo, I know they are going through their own personal things and having to deal with us as part of, it's a lot, but we need to get to a point where we talk about these things. We need to get to a point where we talk about these things, and maybe this is the beginning, and yes. But yeah, let me come back to my notes. So that's the chaos we would go through, because we are not dealing with our issues. And all of this, honestly, I am figuring out in my big age right now. And I'm thankful for the journey that I've been through. I apologize for everyone that I've hurt, but slowly but surely, We'll get there. Yeah. I think I've been speaking, rambling over call, but let me get to my end points now. So let me get to my end points because some of the things I didn't even write here, and they are kicking in as bandited. So I really have to make this, I really have to make this, but there's nothing more important, Majita, than working on yourself. Because I think even with yonke lento benithetha, even with the turmoil of the romantic relationships and everything that were the ups and downs, the real answer to that was I was just looking for myself. I know it sounds cliche, I know it sounds cheesy, I know it sounds corny, but you are looking for you ka uyazikhangela bungubani, and akekho umuntu onokuxelela loo nto leyo ngaphandle kwakho. But the only issue with that is we keep looking for ourselves in the past, and we are not there. We are no longer there. Bonke aba bantu nazo zonke ezaa nto that we went through there abasekho. You are here right now, and your duty as umjita, as a man, is to figure out that lo mntu unguye ngoku, how can you best serve this person? What choices, what decisions that you have to make today to make the life of this person better? Yes, you can look in the back, you can look in the past, because every single experience that you went through, there are tools that you had to pick up. And I believe mental work is us going back there, picking up those tools so that singakhanda lo mntu singuye today in order to move forward. Yabo. We don't have to dwell in those moments, but we have to sit there, be present enough to look around at those present moments. And what did I need to learn from those experiences? That can help umilani wanamhlanje moving forward. Because no one wants umilana nmazi. One thing I can guarantee you that akazoba ngcono kunalo kwanamhlanje if andilanga nalo wangomso bayizolo. You get me? You get my point. Yabo. Umilani wangomso kasoze abe ngcono kunomilani wanamhlanje ukuba ndimoya umilani wayizolo. That's a quotable. But anyway, I think that's all I have for us today, Muji. It was a tough one. I was going through some shiesties, but I managed to pull through it, and I'm proud of myself. I have to say that. I didn't think I was going to go through it, but I did. Thank you guys for sitting with me. My name is Bama Mazinho now as I am going through this episode. And I hope you take something from it. And if umjita, I hope you take something from it. Because ayizokwazi uba ngcono le mizimba, amakhaya yethu, our cities, our towns, our country. It will never be better if we don't start with lo mntu. So yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Jan is out.